video, I'll show you how to connect a Node.js API to Firebase. We will also set up a Firestore database and perform some CRUD operations. So let's get started. So I'm in VS Code and I've created this folder called Firebase Node, and here I'm gonna do npm init. This will create package.json for us. So for the package name, I'll just select Firebase Node version 1. Description, I'll just keep everything default and just do yes. So once we are done with that, we will be left with this package.json file. Now let's install all the required libraries. So for this project, we will need Express for building API. Then we'll need Firebase Admin for interacting with Firebase, and we will also need a body parser which is used to parse the JSON request. So let's install all of these. So now all the packages are installed. Now we can create a new file and we will name it server.js. So first we will need Express. So we will also get the Firebase admin and we will also import body parser. Require body parser express. We will and just do app.listen to the port console log. Server is running on HTTP localhost port. So let's run this. So we just need to do node server.js. Says the server is running on port 3000, and that's the link. We can just hit option and click. That should open. Let me close all other tabs. So that should open this. This is saying cannot get because we haven't specified the route. Okay, now the next part is Firebase setup. So for Firebase, we'll go to the Firebase console and create a project. We'll just call it Node API example, and just continue. We don't need Google Analytics, so just create project. So now the project is created. Node API examples. And now what we need to do is go to this settings icon, go to project settings, and we need to go to service accounts. So once we are in service accounts, we need to generate new private key. So click generate new private key and hit generate key. That will download this file. So we need to drag and drop it in our API folder. I guess need to do, I'm just gonna rename this to Firebase admin config, and then here we need to import that. Now to use that, we'll be using this Firebase admin. So let's create service account, and this will require the file that we have just downloaded, which is the Firebase admin.config file. And then here we'll use admin.initialize app, and we will pass the credentials as admin.credentials.certificate, and this service account is that certificate. So I'm just gonna do initialize Firebase Admin. So this is how we initialize the Firebase Admin and specify our service account. Now the next step is to go to our Firebase console, and here we will need to select Firebase Firestore. So real-time Firestore database. So we'll select Firestore database. Now just hit create database, and we can just leave everything default, and we'll start in test mode. This is just for testing. You can specify different rules here and start in production mode. So when you are in production mode, you can specify different rules. This can be done later. So these are the security rules. So now we get to this page. Let's start a collection, and we will call it test collection. Hit next. For the document ID, we'll just do auto ID. This is just the first item in that collection. So we'll say let's say name, and the type is string, and value is, let's say, John, and let's say first name, and last name, it's John. So let's just save it. So now we have a database collection, and we have one item in there. So now we'll see how we can get this from Firebase to our API. So we'll go here, and then we will create a get route. So app.get, and we will specify let's say users, and async request result, and here we will create DB, and we will have this Firestore. We'll get this Firestore from the admin, and now we'll do try and catch will have exception error. Now inside the try block, we'll create another constant called snapshot, which will await db.collection, and here we will give the name of the collection that we created. So the name of the collection was test collection, so we'll just put test collection. Let's see, what is it? Collection, yeah. So test collection, and we'll do get. So this will get the snapshot of the test collection, and then we'll create another constant called data, and then from the snapshot we will get the docs.map, and doc will have id of doc.id, result.json, and we will pass data that we have extracted from the snapshot. So now we should be able to get that data if everything is right. So let's run this server again, go to this page, let's see if this is running. Okay, this is running, and then we'll go to that endpoint called users. So here you can see we are able to get the first name and last name. This is coming from the Firebase, first name, last name, and then we have this API in the middle. So that's how we can read the data from the Firebase using Node API. Now in next video we'll see how to add data